This is Calcat the Calicatster, and we are going to, I'm going to review Starfleet Academy Episode 6. I thought it was 7, it's 6. Come Let's Away. I'll just go right into the episode. We're going to go all the way to the end of the season before the move. So, yeah, I'm going to get the whole season. It's nearing Valentine's Day, and today's Valentine's Day episode of Star Trek, unlike our fan film, is about apparently Caleb getting with the Bajoran lady. I've forgotten her name already. I thought it was going to be like a dream, like a wet dream or something, because he wants to get with the Bajoran lady. Isn't she? But aren't they Isn't she supposed to be really, really super young? It's kind of trashy, but yeah, apparently. And Sam and her are about the same age. The character, the Sim and her are the same age. Yeah, so they're barely 18. It's kind of trashy. This big, powerful, strong sort of prisoner guy. Of course, she gets with the prisoner guy. And of course, she's reminiscent of an actual Cillian character from our series, who isn't getting with anybody that's big, strong, and muscly. No, not at all. But same age though. The character is. But yes, it also has Bajoran powers that are stronger than her sibling. As she wrote her character should be. So she melts brains like the other one does. So there's a character called Woods who has powers in the other series. Yeah. Also, we have a race of bad guys called the Furies, which they're ripping off the Reavers from they're ripping off the Reavers, and they're ripping off several other cannibal bad guy hybrid stories. I thought maybe they're going to do the whole, they're like the Gorn that have the Gorn babies and they're just infected. They kind of did that. They kind of didn't. They're more like what's left of the Totemus from the other series than they are the Letamok from the other series. I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they just they were thinking, let's have a bad guy race this insectoid that makes noise, or Darkrai. They're probably more like Darkrai. Yeah. They go to a ship called the Mirazaki, I believe. I think that's the name of it. I think it's what it is after the anime. And the Captain Chi is in command. So Kimchi was the captain of the ship. Kimchi from some Starship. So it's a Starship Vanguard's ship from the Vanguard's Federation. But hundreds of years in the future. Because, it says 2403 now in the Star Trek timeline. But in this series, it's 3195. It's over 790 years later. So this ship, and the comic book shows the crew, there's a comic book in it. It shows the crew, they appear to be wearing TOS uniforms. It's from Stranger Worlds, basically, ship. And it has a singularity drive, which is similar to what the Romulans had. And there's a whole psychic link that Mir has with the pixie-like hot Bajoran girl. And the hot Bajoran girl apparently blew her father's eardrums out, killed him. So she does that to the aliens, but not to them at the end. There's a lot of things that are odd. Of course, we have the return of Nuss, Nuss, whose name is revealed. His full name is revealed to be Nustifer, which is hilarious because they are clearly cribbing from our stuff again. Nustifer is a very unusual name. Very unusual name, and there is at least one Nustifer in Canary Space. In the Canary Space story, there's a Nustifer running around in there. It's one of the aliens on the Canary ship, he's one of the. That's literally what his name is, Nustifer. The bad guy is named after that character. Guys, just hire us. Now I'm gonna be heading up north, so you can hire me when I get there. But yes, now they need Q in this timeline so they can fix things. We're working on that other Valentine episode finale thingy as well. Mark Cars will be here later to have his cameo, and then go on from there. So that'll be it. Yeah. So anyway, but not in this episode. In the cameo, the bad guy is clearly modeled after Mezzi from the Mob Planet, but hundreds of years later. Yeah. I don't think Mezzi was as evil as Nustifer is in this story, though. I don't think he was Paul Giamatti's character. I don't think. I don't think he would get away with that kind of stuff. Actually, the lie thing, though, and the tricking him into the station and tricking him into taking the other ship, that's totally what he would do. He would trick them. Of course, they were in on it. But of course they were. Come on, of course they were. He would definitely have done that. Mezzi. Nustifer. Yeah, Nustifer was an alien in the ship. Yeah, definitely. Several of the names in here are from that too. But there was a Captain Chi apparently at some point. Kimchi. Autonomous TMS ship alien. Yes, and they've screwed up also in the series. The Koinonian with an H are not supposed to be the Koinonians without an H. The Koinonian gathering aliens that Jeremy Astor encountered in Next Generation. It's not supposed to be the same race. They're connected by many of the fans, but it's not supposed, because they don't act like them. The Koinonian man acts like a fallen one from Nepotismia, and he like barfs glitter and stuff. He's a different guy. His powers are different. He solidifies form. He's a fallen one. It's literally what he is. He's a fallen one. So he's a TMS person, the fallen one, more so than he's Koinonian, as in the church group people, the Sunday night alternative Koinonia church people from First Press, which is where they got the name from. In Next Generation as well, but in that case, they got it from the name, the Koinonia, which is a gathering, religious gathering. They got it from Next Generation, so it's a synergy. It's like Captain Ake and Nuss here. They go back and forth with how their destinies intertwined, and Ake lost a son. That's it. Yeah, and thinks of Caleb as her surrogate, sort of. She wants to save him, trapped on a ship. Your typical like sci-fi stuck on a stranded ship story. And yes, Ronald D. Moore's BSG. That's what they were thinking of in this episode. They were thinking of Cylons and BSG, and then trapped on the Galactica on the bridge, like that one episode. And in order to contact them, they had to use Six, who was the blonde alien Cylon lady who had mental powers, and Six and I believe Gaius Baltar was the other guy, and that was the new BSG. So this episode is taking a cue from new BSG. Also, the boarding chute attack thing was a common trope in Vanguard, as well as the Canary Space. So they're cribbing from that too. And that's fine. Just as long as whenever I get around to writing an episode, you gotta put my name in the credits. But I didn't do this one. Yeah, so we have it's not exactly mine, but yeah, Nustifer. Really? Come on. You have to have. Come on, the Starfleet Academy. You have to have read my stuff to even know what that phrase is. There's no way you didn't read it. And they referenced the comic book. It wasn't a comic book. It was a YouTube show, Starship Locations. And we've been allowed to do another episode or two. And we shot another episode, but just to do another one. They're going to meet the Transformers again. But that's different. But yeah, so there'll be blogs and things and whatever. So yeah, it's kind of funny. It's not connected, but it is. I'm sure they were thinking of. I mean, the phrase Nustifer, I think, is a version of a devil. So, like a demiurgan or something. So, sure, yeah, it's like calling him Satan. But yeah, it's like, come on, demon alien or whatever. Yeah, so that phrase is it's a catchphrase. But in order for them to know it, they would have had to have seen a character like it. Although in the Canary Space one, he's not really. He's more of a minion to the commander guy, the alien. He's more of a minion. He's not a captain of anything. He's just there. I'm the minion. Yeah. Like, it was either a Paris alien playing him or a phage alien playing, depending on what scene it was. Yeah. It was more like a title. Yeah. But yeah, there was a name too in the Canary Space books. And yeah, there was a name. He had more lines, dialogue. More of a minion. Yeah. Not like the minions, like those orange ones, but a minion, like a minion of the main devil bad guy. Dude. Yeah. You know, minion of the bad guy. The bad guy. Yeah, so there elements of this worked. And it was enjoyable, and I don't really need to ramble on too much about it. Kind of go on to other stuff. But it is interesting that, again, about 70% of it is them talking very softly about intense things in the room. And then cutting to an action scene with guns going and sonic weapons going off. It's like, guys, fix the audio in your show. Yeah, all the other haters were objecting to, like, oh, this is silly dialogue and stuff. And, well, this is just a BSG ripoff. They should like this one. New BSG ripoff. Ronald Moore, he was a Star Trek guy. He wrote Yesterday's Enterprise. He actually finished Yesterday's Enterprise. Yesterday's Enterprise was written by several other, like, famous fans. They weren't fans, they're famous fans. And he's the one that polished it and made it official. So he was given credit. Ronald D. Moore. He finished it. But yes, and Yesterday's Enterprise was a ripoff of Silly Trek. Right on down to the meeting of previous Enterprise in space and stuff. Like, yeah. In our version, our role-playing game in high school, 2 years before that episode aired, Next Generation just started, where all Kirk should meet Picard. Of course, in that case, Mark's Cards would say, well, he didn't know at the time, since he was like a teenager. I was also a teenager. Next Generation and Next Generation was a new show that was 78 years after Kirk and Spock. He just had Kirk and Spock show up in his versions of the episodes. Because he figured they would, because they could. They could just walk onto the bridge and be there and show up. There were several cameos by original series people on Next Generation. So this owes a lot more to BSG, this episode, than the other ones. I'll say it's a BSG one. But Nustifer, come on, guys. Come on. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not going to ramble on about other stuff other than yeah, she has sonic weapons. The girl is basically Avery Woods, the character from the series, with mind powers, and she turns them off so she can save the crew, which would also destroy their eardrums too, because if she had like basically X-Men powers with sonic X-Men powers, she's basically, yeah. He probably shouldn't do her because it'll probably kill him. It should kill him, actually. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. What's that? There's an X-Men character. Was it Banshee? I think it's Banshee. I think that was who it was. There was an X-Men character that was also referenced in some of the movies. I think it was in one of, at least X-Men First Class and some of the other movies. Yeah, he would scream, and his virile scream would like break stuff. I think it was Banshee. I think that's who that was. Yeah. If it wasn't, if it was somebody else that's similar, that's fine too. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, they have the auditory powers. That's fun. So they kind of imply that she's messed up at the end. Yeah, like she took it off. But there is an error there in that scene actually. The Doctor removes the inhibitor from her neck, and then she takes the inhibitor in the mind link off and starts bleeding, and then uses the powers. And then she starts freaking out in the other link. But if he took the inhibitor off already, why is she bleeding? Dope! Just a little thing in there, a little nitpick to add to the Nitpicker's Guide website. Yeah, if it already was taken off, it wouldn't make her, yeah. Why would she be bleeding? Yeah. Yeah. Does that mean that the other character in the other universe has that similar mind power? No, no, it's not similar. But yeah, the psychic Bajoran powers. Yeah. Oh, then there's the other. Yeah, well, I was going to mention the other story with the other character, but why would I do that? Does that have nothing to do with this? So I'm not going to. Um, Yeah, none of Starfleet Academy is connected to the Valentine Starship Locations episode. I deliberately didn't make it linked to it. I have the cadets return in it as officers and lieutenants and stuff. The ones from 2403 were then in 2406 and 2414, but I don't acknowledge the Academy stories because there's only like 90 minutes to 2 hours to tell a story, and I didn't want to go into ridiculous over detail about that, just going over other stuff. Also, I didn't want to make it just the Q is messing with them again, because they're an awful lot. No, it's the Cillians have powers too, and they're messing with them. But yes, yeah. So they're my review of this episode, Avasti away or something. Yeah. Yeah, a slightly better episode, but yeah, as I indicated, it's because it's cribbing from BSG, including sort of a head 6 character. Ooh, except she doesn't look like 6, she looks like Troy. It looks like Troy and somebody from the church group you don't know. Yeah, that helps. No, I have one. Let's do. Don't worry about it. Head 6, yeah. I thought for sure that love scene at the beginning was gonna be a dream. I thought for sure it was gonna, but no, it was a mental cock block at the end. She's like, I can't go in your mind, Which does beg the question: wouldn't she have that connection whenever she'd have the empath powers and TOS and be able to like sort of? Oh.